Hello, good morning. Let's see. Let's see what we're gonna on about today. Let's turn that on because I keep on forgetting to. What's the new? Is there a command to create? Okay. Yeah, that still creates it down there. Is there a way for me to like move that? Not really. Can just take this and move into edit area. I wonder if there is like a shortcut command for that. Anyways, if I do cargo run, I wonder if this is actually going to work with the number of elements that we created here. Probably not. I think we chose 1250, which is good for release mode, but not necessarily good for normal mode. Yeah, this is not necessarily working very well. Let's I think there's a way for me to choose which one we're gonna do. Oh, we can do like config debug config release. I think that's what we can do. So if I do this in main, excuse me. Okay, so if I do this in config main, then what we can do is the humans number be set to whatever we want. So let's say we do let mute humans equals like 1250. Then you're just the humans. Then can I do something like config release can I only do this in mods, or can I do this on like any block? Humans equals like 100. Code is inactive due to config directives. Release is disabled. Attributes on expressions are experimental. Okay, so I wonder if I could do this on like can I do this on a block? Ah, yes, okay, I could do this on a block. So oh, and this should be 1250. This should be 100. You don't need to be mutable, huh? Think you're gonna need to be mutable when this is in release mode. Okay, so out of curiosity, if I now do cargo run normally, we should get 100 of these. There we go. If I run this in release mode, it should take a little bit longer and create 1250 of them. That's the hope. No, but it still does that. Release isn't right then. Is there a list of like the configs that I could choose from? Slang, CFG. Okay, so there's test. I guess I don't see. Oh, so yeah, there's nothing for release mode. Oh, that's too bad. So we can do something like target OS, like the target. Okay, like a Unix. Okay. Features. Okay, that makes sense, but I don't want features. Okay. So we could do something when we have. Let's see. I wonder if there's maybe not in here. Maybe somewhere else. Okay, so it doesn't look like it fully exists, but like there might be debug assertions we can do. That might I might do that in the future. It feels like it's gonna be too much work for right now. Okay, so I will set this to be like just reset this over and over again. So you will be humans 100 for right now. Set to 1250 or production. Okay. Guess I'll call this release. All right. So we have our humans. They're moving around randomly. They're avoiding each other. I think it's time for us to add in a zombie. So to begin with, let's create something. We're gonna need a color for the zombie. It's gonna be the same size as everything else. It's gonna use the same mesh. And it's going to be right in like the sort of like the left. It can be wherever we click. So okay, when I click, I want a update a resource of like where I clicked and that I clicked. Now for the resources. Okay, we have this clicked location. I think we need to reset this. let's reset. You're gonna hold let's just hold a vector 2, which is gonna be one of ours. You need to be public. You also need to derive debug. And then, we're gonna want to do the entire impl deref. For this, because we'll probably be, well, we're going to be updating, so we probably want to deref mute and deref. So, application. Okay, vector 2. Okay, so then we're going to do this deref mute, that, and then you are going to, yeah, same thing. Same exact thing. Okay, so then back to... Oh, we actually probably want this to be an option, don't we? Because it's gonna be an unknown. So I want to make this a pub option with a vector 2 in it. So that way, if it's a none, okay, so then you're gonna be if you're a none, then, well, simple, right? We just we have not clicked anywhere. If you are a something, we have clicked somewhere. Okay, I think that'll make sense. Okay, so let's update this in the main library. Down below these, we can, there's some other functions that we can do. Lumicode, hello. Don't want to implement, let's see, there's the key. Yeah, here it is. No, wait, I want mouse down event. So mouse down event. So mouse button down event. Take this context. We can figure out what the button is. And then we get the X and the Y of where it was clicked. So if I just do a debug here of, let's do button X and Y. We should in here see whenever we click. So, okay, we clicked the left button and it was in here. And so if I go down all the way to the right, yeah, that's getting close to the 800 by 800. So this all makes sense. This is basically the coordinate system that we're using everywhere else. We can use like right, middle. It doesn't know what those buttons are. That doesn't exist. Those are the only buttons that I have access to on here. Okay, so pretty much if it's a left click, so if button is left, then we want to get that resource and update it. So if guess this would be a mouse button. Okay, if let mouse button left is equal to button. Then, not exactly. Let's let clicked location is going to be equal to this vector 2. New with the X and Y, okay? But then we also have to like extract out. So let, we need to get the clicked, let's call this like, actually, we don't really need to do this, do we? We'll just do click location stuff.world dot get resource mute, and we need to get click location. Okay, so that gives us this option. We know that it exists, so we should be able to unwrap it. Okay, so we get the click location out. Well, first ad, finding a place to live in Stockholm is absolutely impossible, as the city doesn't guarantee or offer student dorms for their students. Oh no, that's not good. I have never been to Europe proper, so I have no idea what it's like over there. It is something I would like love to go visit sometime though. But good luck. I hope that you're able to find something eventually. You've got about 2 weeks to find a place to live before the term starts. Yeah, over here, when that kind of thing usually happens, that's usually when like getting like just becoming a roommate is usually what ends up happening. Because like in this city here, living like housing situation is pretty bad. Like rents are just increasing exponentially. Housing costs are increasing by a lot. It's pretty crazy. So like a lot of people are just doubling up or tripling or quadrupling up. Okay, so I get this clicked location from there. Okay, so we mute that. Now I can't deref it right away, but what I can do is I can just do something like our clicked location oh wait, we haven't set it. We need to add it in here. We need to add the resource in. So add resource. This is going to be a so click location, and then you're going to be a none. So actually, I want to just update you, right? I want to say, I kind of want to like add in a method on here. So set, set the click location. We can take a vector, but I could probably also just take in an X and a Y might be better. And we're not going to return anything. Wait, what am I doing? Obstruct. What? No. Impl click location. Hub function. Probably this is going to be set. I don't want to take ownership of it, so we're going to just do a mutable reference to self. and then the X, F32, the Y. Don't think that makes any sense. What we're going to do is we're going to say self dot 0 is going to be equal to that. Yes. Okay, so now we can do this set. So we're going to do click location dot set, and this is going to be that X and Y. Okay, so now that this is set, we should be able to have a system that will check to see if this is set. So basically like handle mouse location clicks, right? And then we can insert a zombie in like the appropriate spot. So basically we need a system to insert zombie, like add zombie. Okay, so we're gonna do a pub function run. We're gonna take in self. We're gonna take in the world. Now in this case, we want to add a zombie in, so we need a mutable reference to the world. World of zombies push. Well, okay, so it's not gonna be quite that easy. What we need to do is get that get out the resource to see if we've clicked something, and if we have, extract the location of where it's going to be. So let's get that resource. Let location is going to be equal to the world dot okay, so we probably want to get resource mute here so that we can reset this click location if we reset that. Okay, so we're going to get that. Now this is only going to happen. So if, let's do, we can actually do this here. So equal if let sum click location equals all of you. So we're going to return, okay, so if there is one, we're going to return this clicked location. Otherwise, we're going to return early because there's nothing for us to do. Okay, and so now we have a mutable reference to this clicked location. So once we have that, then I want to create a new entity and insert that. For right now, let's see, drawing things out. I think the only thing we care about in the draw is a location, right? Like for these systems, for draw entities, we're querying, yeah, location, just location. And the mesh is coming from the resource. Okay, that makes sense here. So in this case, we should be able to do a world add entity. So I think that's going to be world. So register entity. With component. And then here's where we start giving like what this is. This is going to be a component. I want this location. So it's just a location. I think it's just a location and then a vector too. Right. So that's going to be, we want to clone the clicked location, right? So that's going to be click location. And then we're done. That's all we're going to add in here. Now you mismatch types expected. Oh, right. There's this option here. Well, I want to unwrap. Oh, so this is interesting. So if I unwrap you, and then I need to like deref. Oh yeah, okay, that's not gonna work. So hold on. We have to change up how we're gonna do this. So I think I still want to do you. I want to just unwrap you right now because if you don't exist, that's a problem. So we need to crash right away. That gives us a clicked location, which means that we need to now reach inside of that to get like the next thing. So this is where we can do if let some clicked location equals clicked location dot guess it's just a deref, right? So it's a deref of that. There we go. That gives us our vector 2. Okay, so if there is a clicked location inside of the clicked location, so maybe I could just call this a location, then what I want to do is clone this out with a location. But then as soon as we're done with that, I want to now set this to be a none again. Otherwise, it's going to continue to make zombies in that location, which is not ideal. So I want to now reset our click location. So let's just add in their function here. So like pub function, maybe like clear. So mute cell. Self 0 equals none, and then close, yeah. So if there was a location, then we're gonna do clicked location dot clear. Oh, okay. So register entity happens here. Am I gonna be able to do this? Because like we have a get resource mute happening here, and then I want another mutable access to it at this point. I wonder if I can get the clone out here. So let now I want this click location so I can like extract it later. So what if I do this? What let location equals, then an if let sum location from this clicked location essentially just a single dereference gives me this. Then I want you to then return this location. Otherwise, this is where I want to do the early return. Now I have access to location and we've done our entire extraction here. You should be a full vector. It should copy out. So now I should be able to world.register entity with component, and this is going to be a location. With the location inside. And this is happy. Okay, so it likes this. Now we're returning early, which returns from this entire function. So if we get to this point, we can now do a clicked location dot clear. No, it doesn't like that. Can I do that up here? Okay, I do it in this order. Okay, so let's try running this. So add zombie. We're gonna do this in update here. Actually, I don't think we need the unwrap. This one can't fail. Oh, okay. So cannot borrow self.world is mutable because it is also borrowed as immutable. Immutable borrow happens on line 67. So actually we see this right here. So target FPS. So I want to extract this out. So can I, let's see, can I do this like that? At that point, I can. Okay, so perfect. So let's try running this. There we go. I created a single zombie right there, and it's not really moving. So let's add in a color struct to everything so we can see like the colors around them. So for a system, I want a this is not a system. This is a component. We're gonna have a color .rs. And so you're gonna hold a hub GGEZ color. So, which you can't do that. There, that's what you're gonna hold. And what we can do is we can do that deref. Okay, so impl deref for color. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Then not exactly. So then itself dot 0. No, not that. Okay, so I need you. Then we're going to come back to our main library. For humans, let's give everybody just the white color. I think is fine for right now. So we're going to say, so with component, this color, and then this is going to be white. But for add zombie, so we have with component, so with component, color, we have to create a new color for this. Can I do this as a const, I bet? Like const, sort of, but not exactly. So zombie color, you're gonna be a GGEZ graphics color. It's gonna be equal to a let's make this green. So 0, 1, 0. Then you are going to be this zombie color. Okay, let's try this. Kind of have to use the new colors. So in the draw system, So in draw entities here, we have to query for not just with component location, but let's also with component color. Okay, so we're getting the first here, which is fine. Oh, color needs to implement debug. Okay, so then in here we have a borrowed location, and we're gonna downcast you. So then next is gonna be our color, right? So we're gonna get borrowed color equals not location. So this is gonna be our query of position 1 dot borrow. Oh, we need the index. So we need to know which one we're getting. Okay, so create that first unwrap dot enumerate dot iter enumerate. Okay, that gives us that. Borrowed color. Okay, so query 1. So query 1 and then index. And then we can borrow. You don't like that. So 0, 1. Don't bring in borrow. There you go. Okay, now we see this ref dyna. Okay, so now we can downcast it. So this is going to be a borrowed color, downcast ref, color, then unwrap. Okay, nice. Which means when we draw, we can now set, in this draw param, we can set a color. So we have this dot dest. Now we can do a dot color, and we're going to set you to a double dereferenced color. And I think that's all we need to do to now make our zombies be green. There we go, a green zombie. Now we notice that the zombie isn't moving because the zombie doesn't have a velocity or an acceleration. Now we have randomly walk here. Now you're just looking for anything that has an acceleration and a speed. And then it's just gonna add that in there sort of like randomly. So I'm gonna want a marker component so that I can add in, well, let's add in acceleration and speed for our zombie. So, now do we have... We have speed. I don't know if like zombies should have the same speed as humans. Let's try setting that up. So we're gonna try setting like, zombies have the same speed as a human, but zombies always move directly towards the humans, and humans are sort of like just randomly moving around. So we need to get the speed out. So let's do that here. So let speed is equal to world. We're gonna sort of get resource, unwrap. This is gonna be our Is this not being stored in anywhere? Oh, it's just being used here. It's not being stored anywhere. Oh, okay, that's a good point. Let's then have a different thing. So const zombie speed. This is gonna have to be an F32. It is gonna be equal to, let's just say, what is your speed? Your speed is 0.15. Let's make you a little bit slower, like 0.1. Then I don't need to grab you out of here. Then we can add you here. So with component, then our component is going to be speed with this zombie speed, with not way too much. Okay, and then we need location. We need acceleration and velocity. So with component, acceleration. Is there should really be an acceleration like empty, right? There's not, because there's this new like vector 2. Let's also go into vector 2. So I have new random range, new. I want to do another new. Hub function new. Like, how about new, like new 0? And then it's just that. What are you upset about? Oh, that's what you're upset about. Okay, so then I can go to acceleration, and I want to maybe do, because whenever we create like a new acceleration, it should always be like empty. So impl acceleration, hub function new. It's not going to take anything in. It's going to return a self. And we're going to do end acceleration with a vector 2 new 0. Okay, so oh, just new, yeah. Okay, and then we also need a velocity. So we're going to do the exact same thing to velocity here. So what's going to happen is we're going to start using this. And our zombie is going to start moving around just like a human. And we don't necessarily want it to have the same movement rules. So it just is randomly walking around, which is like potentially okay, but really I want it to choose the closest human and move towards them. That's what I want to do. Is like choose the see if we can like find a random human and move towards it. So to begin with, let's put a marker on all the humans so that way we can only move them randomly. So I want a component. This is just going to be a human component. And it's going to be a 0 size. So pub, so we want to derive debug. And then we're going to just do a pub struct human, and that's it. We don't need to do anything else. So with components, and then we're going to bring in this human, and that's it. Like now we can query for this, and it will basically ensure that we're only getting humans when we're querying. So in the that's not open. The randomly walk, we're going to also get with component human. So humans that have acceleration and speed, we want you. This means when I run this now our zombie doesn't walk anymore. Which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. Okay, so next step. I want to have a vision range around the zombie. So we need to give the zombie a vision range, and then I want to visualize the zombie's vision range. So let's do how do I want to do this? Let's go back into add zombie. I'll give you a little bit here. So 10 is maybe not enough. Let's do like 50. Maybe even 100. Okay, so if I do zombie vision range, and then I kind of want to like update that system. So we have this system for draw the vision range, right? To visualize human vision range. But we're doing this big thing to sort of like get the number of these. I think what I want to do is like change this around a little bit. Let's have a marker component to draw vision range. when we add a zombie, we're gonna add in this empty component. Which is great. Okay, so then let's say I want to do this for like humans also, but like I'm okay with us being done and like not having it for humans. So in visualize human range, I want basically I need your location, I need your vision range, and then I also need with component visualize human vision. Wait. No, that's this one. What is it? Draw vision range. Yeah, draw vision range. Okay, so draw this out. This is gonna make it a little bit easier, right? So like, I'm not gonna just randomly choose the first one anymore. So, if we're still gonna create the mesh, let's just like redo this. It's pretty simple to like recreate this. So we're gonna do our query. Let's extract out our, let's loop through one of these. So so the index and the locations. I guess this would be the first one, right? So this is gonna be a wrap location in query 0. I'm gonna get an iterator. I'm gonna enumerate. Then we need to borrow. And then we need to downcast. So we can just do all the borroweds together. So borrowed vision range is not that. This is gonna be a query of position 1 of index, and then we're gonna borrow, except without that. And then draw vision range is just a marker, so I don't need to do anything with that. Okay, so then we extract these out. So that location is now going to be a downcast. So now we're going to say a borrowed location, and we're going to downcast just a ref. You're going to be a location, and we're just going to unwrap you. Vision range, borrowed vision range. Okay, yeah, I think that's gonna be fine. What are you upset about? Oh, draw vision range needs to implement debug. That's true. Okay, so we have these. Time for us to create our mesh. So mesh is gonna be mesh builder new. We're gonna create a circle. We're gonna draw mode. Fill. Sorry, not fill. Stroke. With 0. The point of where we want to put this is gonna be our location dot to mint vector 2. Our radius is going to be the vision range. So I think that's just going to be a double dereferenced vision range. Tolerance 0.1. Color, we could just make this white. And then I think that's it. Oh, and then a build. There we go. Now we can draw this out. So graphics, draw, context, a reference to the mesh, and then a default draw param. Okay, now we probably want to rename this. This is not just visualize human vision range anymore. This is now just going to be visualize vision range. So we should be able to rename this file. So visualize vision range. Then we need to go to you get updated. And where's our mod? That's a component. We should have a system mod that's unsaved. There you go. And we have. Oh, right. And you're not. You're going to just be visualize vision range. Then here. All right, I think that should now visualize just the zombie vision range. If we want to visualize the humans, we can then add one of those humans in, which will be fine. So let's go ahead and run this. Called on a none value, entities line 73. So this is just, oh, and BBECS. Okay, so what happened here? In run query, self components, and then get, and then with the type ID, we don't need a register, right? We didn't do that with our thing. It just works. Yeah, I don't need to do like any kind of registration. We do register entity with component. Wait, what's happening? Where's my thing? Okay, so it's on a query. It's got to be in that visualize. Because there are none in there yet. Because there are no zombies in there yet. We're trying to get... Okay, so for example, if I want to... One way to potentially fix this, it's not like the best way is just work around. I can just say, okay, for the count, I want to then say, okay, let's do world, if count is equal to 1, so if it's the first one, then we're going to do world dot with component, the draw the vision range, and that's it. And then this should oh, it's only off of register entity. Oh, but you return this. Okay, so let mute. Close that, and then if count is equal to 1, then we're gonna do registering entity dot that. Okay, so now I think this should work without crashing. Because we're drawing one of these that has it in there, because at least one of them has that component. So if it failed to find anything, then we shouldn't crash. We should probably just return an empty vector. And if I add a zombie in here now, we now see there's our vision range for the zombie. Pretty devastating compared to humans. I like how it they eventually just like trying to escape out. That's fun. But I can add as many as I want in. Okay. So let's fix that other bug. In I was up here. So what I want to do, okay, so let components equals, okay, so self.components get type ID. Okay, because it hadn't been added in yet, there's a possibility we won't find it. So I guess there's a couple things I could do here. If I can't find you, I should probably just give it an empty array. Or we switch to a different design pattern and we require you to register the components before doing this. So for example, let's say we expect this. So we have an actual message and our message is not find entity with component. Then I think I can actually do this, right? And this is going to be create a type IDs. Okay, so I don't think I can actually get like the name of it. Type ID is not going to be helpful. Is there something I can get like back? Not really. So maybe querying for a component that has not been registered. That's what happens. So if I were to do this again, go back to our main library, and I remove this. We should get that much nicer error message out now, which is, hey, we're querying for a component that hasn't been registered. Don't do that. Now the question is, do I actually want to be able to handle this? It does actually feel like it's something that's helpful. Is, well, what if we want to? What if we want to do that? I think that I need to switch over to having. We need to be able to handle that. And the way I think we can handle that is in the world, we can have a register component. So in BBECS, we have entities here. So we have this register entity. I think we're going to have a register component. Because here, if we find this, here we have this add component here for else. We should error out. We should, actually, we can handle both. We can be really nice for this. We could keep this, so if you use with component with a component that doesn't exist there, we're going to add a component. Otherwise, we're going to take this component and then we're just going to add this in there and then set for whatever the amount is, which at the beginning, okay. So what if I do this? We're gonna let's imagine that we have a register pub function register component. You're going to be mutable self, and then we need the component which impulse any. So the component impl any. I'm not going to return anything. We're going to do a self add component, which requires the type ID and then the component. So self dot add component, our type ID. This is going to be our component dot type ID, and then the component itself. And then I think that's it. So then let's forward this on to the world. Oh, and we need to, so here we need to take in the component impl any, and we're just going to forward that on. So that. Then back to our main library in the zombie simulator. We're not doing this. After we add the resources in here, we can do a world dot register, what, get resource, no. Register component, and then our component is going to be the draw vision range. And that's it. So we just want to like early register this because it's not going to be used anywhere else. So now if I run this, everything should be fine. It didn't, attempt to subtract with overflow. Oh, well, that's not good. What happened here? So for add component, we create an empty vector for blah in self component. We're gonna push components none. Oh, so like if this is empty, because it's -1. Oh, that's, oh, ooh. Do I really need that -1? I feel like I don't really need a -1 now. Let's see, what are we doing here? So in an entity count, we have the entity count that's U size. We add U whenever we have a new entity. But this already goes through equal on it. I kind of feel that this isn't necessary. So let's think about that. Let's say we have like 5 entities in here already. So therefore I want to push in 5 of these things. So 0 through entity count is 5. It would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, I think I was pushing in too many of these. So if I just do this, let's try this again. Panicked on a none value. Okay, this is a different one. So run query. So in our run query, if query indexes contains index, queried components, push component, and then the component is coming out of here. So it's this an option. So yeah, we're grabbing you and cloning you in as we push you in. So what happened here? We're attempting to run the query on like the draw components. Draw components is are the size of these wrong? Is that because I for each, okay, so I kind of want to now see what is in the world, specifically what is in the entities at this point. Okay, so at this point, can I do a debug on world.entities? I need to make sure that that is public. So, okay, I don't want to give ownership of you. Okay, so perhaps not the best idea. I think I want the entities.components. Then just adding that debug makes it not like actually complete. So here's some components. Oh man, just like trying to print that out. There's too many of them to print out. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Maybe I can print out just the bitmap, but I'm wondering if like that -1 was actually needed. It probably is. So in entities, it's like we're doing this. What this means is that I want to do an early return if entity count is empty, right? So if self dot entity count is equal to 0, then let's just return. And otherwise we'll continue on. So like a little bit of an early. Well, okay, no, we can't return. So we can only do this if let me think. So we're creating the new components here. We're gonna push them in. Components push some. The component. Wait, is it add components? I feel like I just need a different method for this. So instead of like add components, we just want to essentially just have a pub function register component, which I already have up here. So instead of like just calling with that, all we're gonna do is just add an empty vector to the components. I think that's all we need to do. So we're gonna say self dot components dot insert. Now our type ID is going to be this component dot type ID, and then an empty vector. If I do that, and we don't have that debug here, do you just work? Let's see, 3 main pen acted called option unwrap on a none value. So 46 now. Okay, so bitmap values, have to bitmap. Oh, because the bitmap didn't have anything. The bitmap also needs to have an empty vector for that type, doesn't it? Because the bitmap is also a hash map. Okay, so we need a self.bitmap insert. It's gonna be the component type ID, and then the component. I guess this is gonna be just an empty vector. Oh, U2028. So you're just a 0. Okay. Let's see. Back to here. Okay, so queried components. Query push the component as ref unwrap. So you found the component, but you're a none. Query.indexes contains, okay, so then I think we need to update some of these other things. I think we may need to like actually rewrite some of this to be a little bit better, because like I'm trying to like just like do little spot fixes and like band-aid it, and it's not working too well for this. So I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow though. I do have to head off to work. With that all being said, thank you everybody for stopping by and watching. I know we didn't get like the visualization like fully set up for this. I'm gonna have to think about like how I want to like rewrite the registrations and like handling when like only one thing exists. There's better error handling that we can do in the BBECS, which is what we need to do to handle this properly. So we might start tomorrow's stream off by sort of like planning things out, like, okay, if something doesn't exist, what do we do? But we'll figure that out then. So anyways, once again, thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I will see you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Have a great day, and bye.